Tensions with Israel are exploding. The U.S. just struck Iran's nuclear sites. Iran's top leaders are panicking. They rushed into bunkers, terrified. The danger feels closer than ever. What they fear most is losing power. Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, is already 86 years old. He's very old and possibly sick. Even if he survives this moment, it's time to choose a successor. But who will it be? One of his sons? Or someone else from his inner circle? While Iran is under attack, Khamenei is making the most significant decision of his life. Israel and the U.S. say they know exactly where he's hiding, and they could strike again at any moment. Khamenei has made a painful decision, and now everything is about to be revealed. According to the New York Times, Ali Khamenei has made his choice. He knows he could be killed at any moment. Israel is launching precision strikes, eliminating his closest allies. Just in the past weeks, 3 powerful commanders were killed. Saeed Izzati, Iran's key coordinator with Hamas. Behnam Shahriari, responsible for delivering weapons to Hezbollah and the Houthis. Aminpour Judaki, in charge of drone attacks. All 3 are now dead. Khamenei understood. He could be next, and he didn't waste time. While hiding in a bunker, he created a secret list of 3 candidates who could take over if he is killed. He personally handed this list to the Assembly of Experts, the clerical body responsible for appointing the next supreme leader. Normally, the process takes months, but now every minute counts. If you need any more evidence that the Ayatollah is shaking in his boots, here it is. He personally chose his 3 successors, said a source close to the White House. Khamenei is communicating with his commanders only through a single trusted aide. All electronic devices have been shut down to prevent tracking. The Ministry of Intelligence has ordered all senior officials and military commanders underground. The country is in a state of high alert. Khamenei has addressed the nation twice through pre-recorded video messages. He claims Iran will never surrender. But behind the bold statements is a real fear of losing power. He knows the regime is in danger. That's why he did something he has never done before. He chose who will inherit his throne. And now Iran's future hangs in the balance. Rumors about who could become Iran's next supreme leader have been circulating for years. Ali Khamenei has held this powerful position for over 3 decades, and many wonder who might replace him. When Ebrahim Raisi became president in 2021, a lot of people thought he was being prepared for the top job. That election was carefully controlled. All serious competitors were disqualified before the vote. It seemed like Raisi was on his way to becoming Iran's next supreme leader, but things didn't go as planned. His performance, especially with the economy, has been disappointing. Prices continue to rise, inflation is over 50%, and now street protesters are chanting things like, "Down with Raisi." At one press conference, Raisi gave different numbers about inflation, first saying it dropped to 2%, then later admitting it was actually over 40%. People started mocking him online. Some even created a petition asking him to officially end all sanctions by cooperating peacefully with the rest of the world. These public reactions have seriously damaged his popularity. While Raisi's image weakens, attention has shifted to someone else, Khamenei's younger son, Mojtaba. Many believe he was the one helping Raisi rise to power, just to take his place eventually. Mojtaba has close ties with Iran's military and intelligence sectors, especially the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC. And now there are reports that he's working on gaining the religious credentials needed to be considered a legitimate successor. Mojtaba's influence dates back to the 2009 protests, when he reportedly played a role in the brutal crackdown. Since then, he's been building stronger connections inside the security system. Even after one of his allies in the IRGC was recently fired, Mojtaba still seems to hold firm control over those networks. His name has been mentioned many times as a possible future supreme leader, and recently, signs suggest that his chances are growing. In August, former Prime Minister Mir Hossein Mousavi, still under house arrest after the 2009 election protests, warned that Iran's leadership could become hereditary, like in Syria, where Bashar al-Assad took power after his father. The rumors about a son succeeding his father have been around for 13 years, Mousavi wrote. If it's not true, then why doesn't anyone deny it? His words caused a media storm in Iran, but interestingly, no one dared mention Mojtaba's name directly. Then another signal appeared. An Instagram account connected to former President Mohammad Khatami shared a report from a Shia news agency saying that Ayatollah Mojtaba Khamenei had opened enrollment for his high-level religious classes in Qom, one of the holiest cities in Iran. This wasn't the first time people heard about his teaching activities, but it was the first time state-affiliated media publicly called him an Ayatollah. That label is important, and many news outlets quickly picked it up. It looks like the path is being cleared, and Iran's next leader might not be a stranger at all. Rumors have long circulated that one of Ali Khamenei's sons might inherit power from his father, and those rumors are not without reason. While Iranian state propaganda tries to convince the public that their leader lives a modest, even ascetic life, more and more evidence suggests the opposite. Officially, Khamenei is said to live simply, wearing plain clothes, eating basic food, and even watering his own garden with a plastic can. His wife once said in an interview, "We do not have decorations in the usual sense. Years ago, we freed ourselves from these things." But the reality seems very different. Multiple international investigations have claimed that the Khamenei family is one of the wealthiest in Iran. According to reports, Ali Khamenei controls a financial empire worth around $95 billion. Most of this is managed through an organization called Setad. Execution of Imam Khomeiни's order. This group has taken control of thousands of properties, often claiming they were abandoned, even from religious minorities and exiled Iranians. His sons also hold massive wealth, especially Mojtaba. He is said to have more than $3 billion, with money stored in banks across the United Arab Emirates, Syria, Venezuela, and several African countries. He reportedly owns about $300 million worth of gold and diamonds and vast land near the city of Mashhad. Another son, Masoud, manages many of his father's institutions and has hundreds of millions in bank accounts in France, the UK, and Iran. He also controls the sale of Renault cars in Iran. The youngest son, Maysam, is married to the daughter of an influential merchant and works with Masoud in the car business, earning a commission on each sale. His wealth is said to exceed $200 million. Now it becomes clearer why Mojtaba Khamenei is the top candidate to replace his father. He's not just the son of the current supreme leader, he also has enormous personal wealth, powerful connections, and deep influence within Iran's military and intelligence services. He's been preparing for this role for years, and if anyone can keep power in the hands of the Khamenei family, it's him. It all seemed obvious. Mojtaba was the perfect candidate to take his father's place. He has power, wealth, and strong ties with Iran's military and intelligence. For years, his name has been quietly circulating in political circles. Many were certain he was already being prepared to become the next supreme leader. But surprisingly, the New York Times reported that Mojtaba is not included in the list of 3 candidates personally chosen by Khamenei in case of his death. Khamenei has instructed the Assembly of Experts, the clerical body in charge of appointing the next supreme leader, to select one of those 3 people. Why? It's simple. Khamenei is a man of principle. All his life, he opposed the idea of hereditary rule. He came to power after the 1979 Islamic Revolution, a movement that aimed to end monarchy and dynastic leadership in Iran. For him to hand power to his own son would mean betraying that legacy. Khamenei understands the risks. He doesn't want people pouring into the streets shouting, "Iran is not a monarchy." He fears that a dynastic transition could trigger protests, international backlash, and even collapse the system he spent decades building. That's why Khamenei has made it clear that despite Mojtaba's influence and ambitions, he doesn't want his son to inherit the throne. His successor must represent continuity, not monarchy. Khamenei's eldest son once seemed like the obvious successor, but he's not the only one who could take over as Iran's next supreme leader. Several influential figures in Iran are being quietly discussed as potential replacements. One of the top contenders is Gholam Hossein Mohseni-Ejei, the head of Iran's judiciary. He's 68 years old and known for being tough during crises. That toughness could make him very attractive to Iran's ruling system, especially at this time. As one expert said, he's willing to be pretty ruthless in times of crisis. Another strong candidate is Mohsen Komi, a 65-year-old member of the Assembly of Experts. He's a longtime advisor to Khamenei on foreign affairs and communication, and a trusted insider. His close ties to Khamenei and the clerical establishment make him a serious option. But that's not all. According to Reuters, another potential candidate for Iran's next supreme leader could be the grandson of Ruhollah Khomeini, the man who led the 1979 Islamic Revolution and became the first leader of the Islamic Republic. His name is Hassan Khomeini, and he's 53 years old. He's considered the most prominent of Khomeini's 15 grandchildren. Many in Iran believe that he could have a serious political future. Hassan is the son of Ahmad Khomeini and Fatemeh Tabatabai. He became a cleric back in 1993. Since 1995, Hassan Khomeini has served as the caretaker of the Khomeini Mausoleum, where both his grandfather and father are buried, a highly symbolic and respected role. He has also met with major political figures like Syrian President Bashar al-Assad and Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah. In addition, he teaches in the holy city of Qom and has published his first book on Islamic sects. But unlike many in Iran's conservative leadership, Hassan has voiced criticism of certain government policies. He's spoken out against military interference in politics and disagreed with the hardline direction of former President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. After one such interview in 2008, a pro-Ahmadinejad outlet accused him of corruption, claiming he drove a BMW and supported wealthy elites, an unusual public attack on a member of the Khomeini family. This marked the first time in the Islamic Republic's history that one of Khomeini's descendants was insulted in state-affiliated media. Hassan also supported opposition candidate Mir Hossein Mousavi during the 2009 election crisis and backed calls to cancel the contested results. In 2015, Hassan Khomeini announced he would run for a seat in the Assembly of Experts, the very council that chooses Iran's supreme leader. But the Guardian Council rejected his candidacy. Later, in 2020, speculation rose again that he might run for president in 2021, though he ultimately declined, reportedly on Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei's advice. Why could Hassan Khomeini be a serious contender for supreme leader? The answer lies in symbolism. As the descendant of the Islamic Republic's founding father, he represents continuity. But at the same time, his more moderate stance and openness to reform could help unify different political forces in a country facing deep crisis. That symbolic power may make all the difference. Insiders are also watching a few other names: Mohsen Araki, Alireza Arafi, and Hashem Hosseini Bushiri. All of them are members of the Assembly of Experts. Arafi also serves on the Guardian Council, a powerful religious body, while Araki is well respected for his many years inside the clerical system. That experience could give him an edge. Ali Vaez, Iran project director at the International Crisis Group, suggested that instead of the obvious front-runners, the Revolutionary Guards might back a lesser-known cleric who would act as their puppet. It is possible that they would put forward a candidate that no one has ever heard of and would not really hold the same levers of power that Ayatollah Khamenei has held now for more than 30 years, he said. Some analysts believe Khamenei purposely left his son off the list to avoid looking like he was creating a monarchy. Naming his son as successor could have gone against the ideas of the Islamic Revolution, which overthrew Iran's monarchy in 1979. Still, some experts say that even if Khamenei didn't include his son, the Assembly of Experts could choose him anyway. This isn't just about one man stepping down, it's about protecting the entire system. As Professor Vali Nasser put it, the top priority is the preservation of the state. That may be why Khamenei broke tradition and prepared a list of candidates ahead of time, something that hasn't happened since he took power himself more than 30 years ago. However, the exact list of names remains a secret. For now. The transfer of power in Iran is not just a formality, it's a fight for the regime's survival. Khamenei doesn't just want a loyal successor, but someone who can keep the system from collapsing. He even left his own son off the list to avoid looking like a monarch. But new names are emerging, and that could change everything. What do you think? Who will become Iran's next leader? Tell us in the comments, leave a like if you found this interesting, and don't forget to subscribe.